So what a wonderful venue we are all in. Do you all agree? I think it was worth the travel all the way from all the corners of this great country. So I have great pleasure in welcoming all of you to this wonderful program, Vriddhi 2024. Elevate, accelerate and grow. The pharma industry's odyssey. Our compliments to the visionaries who have taken so much pains, spent so much money to give us this wonderful place, the temple of learning, I would say. And what a wonderful environment, excellent location. So we must thank the promoters, Mr. Shah, the dean, the registrar, the head of various departments, the trustees. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us this wonderful temple of learning. On behalf of our very dynamic man who is present everywhere, every time, our national president, Dr. Vriddhi Shah, if I call him Mehul Shah, he doesn't like it. He likes to be called Mehul because that gives that youth, the young feeling in him. And after working with Mehul for the last almost now, maybe 8-10 years, I call him Mehul the magician. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been working to make this a success since the month of November, am I right? And I received a call from Mehul saying, Daara bhai, sorry, pardon, I'll be speaking the language from the heart, which all of you will understand. Daara bhai, public aause ke yahan? I said, aause, once we work together, public will come. And believe you me, the way we have worked, IDMA, Flame University, Encube, day before yesterday, we had to stop the registration. So I have great pleasure in welcoming Madam Sarah Macmillan, the US FDA Chief, Mr. Bharat Shah, our Senior Vice President, Mr. Mahesh Doshi, our immediate past President. What is the advantage Vriddhi bhai has got is a disadvantage to Mahesh bhai, because Vriddhi is the third year president of our association. So Mahesh bhai continues as the immediate past president for the third year. And this is a 62-year-old body. We are going to celebrate our IDMA 62nd annual day. And we had several presidents. All of them have made a mark. But very few have been requested to continue for the third year. And Vriddhi bhai is one of those. Bharat bhai looks a little anxious, but no, fourth year he will not take. Friends, IDMA is a 62-year-old body, 1,000 plus members who are into formulations, APIs, and we have rightly earned the status of being called voice of the national sector. Because this is how IDM has come up. We were with the small scale, we are still with them. Later on, middle class companies, medium class companies joined us, then the big guns, the small scale became big. So we have got a tightrope walking, a very tough job, because we have to take care of the entire pharma industry. Of course, our big brothers from IPA are doing a phenomenal job, but I don't know how long they'll take to get 1,000 members. I also like to welcome Mr. Chakravarti, the ambassador of packaging industry in India, Madam Jyoti Sardesai, the FDA chief from Goa. All the other dignitaries, our past presidents, our office bearers, executive committee members. All of you have taken pains to come here from different parts of the country. That itself shows your love, your affection, not only for IDMA, but for the entire pharma industry. As we gather here, we are not merely participants in the event. We are architects of change, stewards of progress, and visionaries of our future. The theme of Vriddhi 24 encapsulates the essence of our mission to elevate our standards, accelerate our pace, and foster sustainable growth within the pharma industry. Reflecting on the strides we have made since inaugural of Vriddhi 1 in 2022, it is evident that our industry is on an upward trajectory. The developing Indian pharma sector has emerged as a beacon of hope, resilience, and ingenuity, contributing significantly to global healthcare advancements, not only in healthcare but also allied fields, and especially innovation now. The Indian pharma industry has come a full circle from being a major importer of medicines. We are today an exporter of medicines of repute. From being dependent on other countries for medicines, today we have ensured that there are so many countries who are dependent on medicines made in India. So I'm sure all of you are very proud to belong to the pharma industry. Am I right? Very good. Several great businesses and entrepreneurs have grown from humble beginnings, like garages. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and his colleague Paul Allen, Larry Page and Sergey Brin of Google, Steve Jobs of Apple, and several others. But mind you, the entrepreneurs of the Indian pharma industry are no less, starting from humble beginnings as SSIs. Today, they are considered as world-class manufacturers, and some of them have been come to know as Indian multinationals. So imagine, and on the lighter side, 40, 50 years ago when you saw our entrepreneurs, I hope there's nobody from NPPA here. We used to see them getting out of their nice, small, dependent Maruti 800. And today you will see a lineup of Lexus, Mercedes. That shows that how well we have done. We take care of people's health. We work closely with the government and support all the regulatory systems. But we do well for ourselves. And that shows that we have really now given a tough job and a run for the money for various multinationals. Let's take the example of Vriddhi. From a humble beginning in the year 2022, in partnership with Bain Company. I would like to welcome all the stalwarts from Bain Company. At a rooftop banquet room, which measured only about 1,800 square feet, 140 participants, very few sponsors. And if you see today, we are in this wonderful place with almost 10,000 square feet. We've got 500 plus seats here. And we've got 400 plus participants. So if you compare, the area is grown 5 times. The participants have grown 3.5 times. And the expectations and the outcome, I assure you, will be 100%. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as we convene once again, let us reaffirm our commitment to excellence, collaboration, and ethical leadership. Throughout this event, let us seize the opportunity to exchange knowledge, share insights, and forge meaningful partnerships. Together, let us explore new frontiers, challenge the status quo, and unlock the boundless potential that lies within our pharma industry. Let me tell you about our speakers, our panelists, our moderators. Each one of them has made a mark. They've all raised the bar, and they have promised us today that they will set this stage on fire at flame. I extend my appreciation to each and every one of you for your presence, for your contributions, and your unwavering commitment in the advancement of the pharma industry in our country. Together, let us embark on this transformative journey with enthusiasm, optimism, a shared sense of purpose and pride, and working shoulder to shoulder with the government to ensure and prove it to them that whatever we do it for the patient. Thank you very much. With your support, with the support of the organizers, we are going to make Vriddhi 2024 a brand to be recognized with and a resounding success. I wish you all the best in the deliberations for the 1.5 days, and I'm indeed proud to be part of you. Let us all together say, Jai Ho the Indian pharma industry. With these few words, I would now welcome our leader, Dr. Vriddhi Shah, who is our national president. He is the promoter, managing director of Saga Laboratories, a known personality not only in Gujarat, because today, of course, Gujarat is on the global map. It gives us pride to say that our Prime Minister is from Gujarat. Our Minister, Honourable Mansukh Mandewar ji, is with Gujarat. And our National President is from Gujarat. So, Gujaratis, unless you are wearing a tie, put your collar up. Vriddhi Bhai has been a very, very hard-working, a very articulate, and a very knowledgeable leader. There is no subject on which he doesn't have an expertise covering the entire pharma industry. So we all look forward to listening to you, sir. Welcome.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IDMA 62nd Annual Day celebrations, coinciding with our flagship event that celebrates entrepreneurship, Vriddhi 2024. Welcome to Pune and welcome to Flames. Friends, the choice of Pune and Flames was not random and not just because Mehul bhai came up with the idea. Since independence, there have been very few instances where the pharma industry and the researchers behind this industry have been recognized. This year, in 2023, we saw a movie called Vaccine Wars that celebrated what went behind the curtains to bring such a great success to India in terms of vaccinating its population and vaccinating the world, in fact. Pune is actually the vaccine capital of the world, being the headquarters of Serum Institute, the company that could provide all of us with vaccines in time, of course, in collaboration with the government, the ICMR. And therefore, selecting Pune was actually also one of the ways IDMA wanted to pay tribute to the vaccine heroes of India. Also, recognizing the importance of Flames, and usually we see the academia coming to the industry for learning, we thought it was important for us to come to academia to learn. And when our Honorable Minister Mansukh bhai talks of shifting from volume leadership to value leadership, in the next few years or a decade or two, we are going to see a lot of activity happening on creating value-added products. Globally, it is the academic institutes that support the industry in innovation. Traditionally, we consider academic institutes to help us provide the talent. But that role has changed. Post initiatives like Startup India, a lot of emphasis has been put on creating innovation at academic institutes. And taking this forward, we also see a lot of entrepreneurship building in the academics, which are mostly out of the new ideas, new products that take birth here. So selecting Flames or coming to Flames was also one of our way to express to the world that it is important that such wonderful academic institutes should be recognized. We all need to come here and understand the good things they are doing and bring the academic excellence to our strategy. And this marriage, this unison of using the academic excellence and the business excellence that we have is going to create the new India. And therefore, selecting such a wonderful place, and we sincerely thank Nimish Bhai for offering this wonderful place to organize this event. As we look forward, one of the most common statements that I hear, and I am also a part of it, is that the business is very competitive, it's very complex, and it is going to get more competitive and more complex as we go forward. If you look at what is happening across the globe, Europe, which is known to subsidize the cost of medicine for its citizens, is itself in some economic turmoil, if I would put it that way. There's a war going on in different parts of the world, creating new geopolitical situations that we all have to manage. There are supply chain disruptions happening everywhere across the world. A lot is happening. And in this entire phenomenon that seems to be getting out of control, India is one of the bright spots that the world is looking towards. I was actually reviewing an article, or rather I would say a strategy document. And this strategy document is India at 100. World's best minds have gone into writing this document, including, in fact, it is led by Michael Porter, who is one of the leaders in writing this document of what India's strategy could be and how Indian competitiveness has to improve. There are some very complex things that they have identified that will probably change in the next 10-20 years, and that will impact the way we are doing business. One of the peculiar things that has been identified in the report is India is a country of clusters. So we have industries happening in clusters all across India. And this is an advantage that we have. So probably we could see how we can make the clusters more competitive globally, and therefore we may see policies which could address this advantage that India has. India is also a very complex game in terms of its competitiveness, its cost competitiveness. On one hand, it has one of the highest cost of doing business, and yet it is more competitive because we have the lowest cost of manpower. Now, as we go forward and we are more likely to enhance our per capita income, don't be surprised if the minimum wages, which are around 400, 500 today, will soon get to at least 1,000 per day for the lowest of the skill matrix. And therefore, maintaining this competitiveness, if we have a high cost of manpower and a high cost of doing business, will actually be very counterproductive. So in the coming years, we'll see some policies where the cost of transaction, the cost of doing business is going to be addressed at a national level. Globally, the highest amount of investment in research or innovation, I would put it, is usually in automobiles and pharma. In both these industries, we have a very low exposure to innovation and investment in innovation. It is very likely, we did see the beginning in terms of the PRIP, the promotion of research in pharma. A lot of other initiatives will come. There are a lot of other things that are going to happen in next decade or two, which are fundamentally going to change the way we do business. And these are all factors that are within India. Also globally, we have seen post-pandemic, many of the economies are trying to get some part of supply chain within their territories. So it is definitely going to also impact the way Indian export performs. At the same time, a lot of middle class and high middle class people are likely to get more money or at hand to address medicines and the healthcare, especially the preventive and wellness. So that's another factor that is going on to play. And of course, there are going to be international phenomenon that will happen. Very recently, I saw in a news that UK has suddenly come back with incidents of rickets, scabies, and a lot of things that were pre-imperial kind of diseases that have now come back. Do we have medicines to address them? Since 2020 till today, there are more number of patients today with long COVID than we have the new patients for cardiovascular issues. We are getting about 18 million patients per year, additional 18 million, which are having cardiovascular issues. So let's say in the last 3 years, we might have got around 55 million new people. But there are 65 million people that have long COVID. So the world is actually, everything is on a spin. And for entrepreneurs, it is very difficult to keep pace with what's happening across. Vriddhi is an initiative where we want to bring experts who have done great in their work, who will share their experiences, the thought process that have gone beyond the decisions they took. And I think we will have to learn two things from them. The first is what is going to change in the next 10 years. And this is very important. What are the things we should expect that will change in the next 10 years so that as a company, as a professional, I could prepare it before I actually face the situation. But what is more important is the second point, what is not going to change in the next 10 years. And I think that gives us a perspective. And if we are already doing things that are not going to change in the next 10 years, that gives me an additional advantage. I'm already doing it. I know it's going to be there for the next 10 years. How can I consolidate it? So I think these are the two things I will be personally looking for. I'm sure each one of you will have a very good take home, a food for thought, something that will help you re-strategize. Mehul is going to explain to you in details the kind of program that we have and the thought process that has gone behind in building this program. But I can assure you that going home, you will definitely be more enriched from what you are today. My best wishes to all of you. happy learning, happy listening. And thank you once again for coming here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Daara sir. Thank you, Viranchi sir. We heard about IDMA, about 62nd Annual Day celebrations, some pointers about the industry, the trends. Coming to the very specifics about this event, its evolution, its purpose, and the envisaged outcome. I request Shri Mehul Shah, Managing Director, Encube Ethicals, Honorary General Secretary, IDMA, and Chairman of Vriddhi, to deliver the Setting the Tone address for Vriddhi 2024. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is always extremely challenging to speak after Dr. Ranchi Bhai. And really, last 2.5 years I'm working with him and learnt a lot. And I want to warm welcome to all of you from, I think, across the country, and many have come from overseas also. So really sincere thanks to all our friends, colleagues, partners in progress. So great to see all of you here at Flames. And you may not have seen much of Flames, but during next 2 days, please take some time out and you can say what it took to create this institution after sincere hard work of almost 19 or 20 years. And 2,100 resident students are here. And very unusual statistics, 67% are female students. Right, so I welcome all of you for the 62nd annual celebration of IDMA. It is my proud privilege to welcome you under the backdrop of this intellectual and inspiring meet at Majestic Flame University. I am sure your experience will be different in this academic environment. I'm here to share with you the purpose and thoughts behind curating this event. So you can see some of the phrases here, and I'll share my thoughts behind it. I could not be more excited and optimistic about India and pharma in specific. We do not need any big data, any big analysis, any big consultants to, to tell you that what kind of opportunities are in front of all of us. You move out, whether railway, airports, ports, buildings, construction, all across. There's so much happening in India. And when we look back to our own homes and the consumer behavior towards healthcare spends from pre-COVID to today, there is undeniably consumption-led story unfolding here. You check with your friends or anyone, you will find the people have become excessively health conscious now. We have seen something unprecedented which we have never seen in our lives during COVID time. The macroeconomic tailwinds clearly propel companies manufacturing healthcare in India to benefit not only from the large size Indian healthcare growth in spends, but also from global themes of China plus one, harmonizing regulatory frameworks, and cost arbitrage. You all know there is massive inflation across the world, and US and Europe have never seen this kind of inflation of almost 7 to 8%. You'll be surprised that 3 years back, the LIBOR was almost zero, and the cost of borrowing in US was just 1 to 1.5%. Today, for our company, the cost of borrowing in India is same or cheaper than in US. So what does it mean to all of us? When we look back, that suddenly there is tremendous manufacturing activities going on here. The unprecedented increase in consumption, an unprecedented increase in requirement, and there is a kind of a pricing. If you have seen whoever are exporting to US and Europe, the prices have not gone up. So we as India, I think we are greatly benefited. Our IDMA companies have strong modes: cost competitiveness, quality, agility, innovation, and service delivery. I am really inspired by the way our IDMA companies are pursuing excellence in making these modes stronger and larger. Our companies are already serving the growing affluent Indians. Recent report points towards exponential growth in affluent Indians and their spends towards healthcare. It is said that during this Amrit Kal, next 25 years, affluent Indians addition will be 400 million. Now imagine, what is the meaning of affluent Indian? Based on today's parity, the one who earns more than $10,000. What will happen if 400 million people earns more than 10,000? Maybe the respective time point of view, it will be $12,000 or $15,000. It is going to explode. Now, our IDMA companies are poised to make the most of this affluent Indian growth and making larger stride in that direction. Lastly, our belief in India and pharma stories continue to build confidence. With all of this, even if we take an industry average growth rate of 11% compounding, you all know that from a current base of around 50 billion, where 50% is exports and 50% local, the number, it is going to cross $500 billion. It took 75 years to touch $50 billion. And it's not far, but in 2005, the industry size was just $5 billion in India. So in the last 20 years, we have grown 10-folds. And we are going to grow in maximum 25 years further 10-folds. Now what we all should do at this base, I think that's what is the whole purpose of this event. We anticipate the ratio of exports to local, which is currently 50-50, it is going to change. In India, our per capita average, the pharma products consumption is around $18, which is in US around $1,428. In Saudi Arabia, it is $300. So with increase in affluent Indians and the competitiveness and the quality with all digitalization, the Indian market is likely to be 2/3 out of 500 billion and 1/3 will be exports. I firmly believe and conclude that we are in the right place at the right time. So why are we meeting here today? I started serving as an Honorary General Secretary of IDMA from 2022. I've always admired the grit and passion of entrepreneurs of IDMA. Dr. Vriddhi Shah and I had a dream when we started serving to curate contents, events, and resources, apart from very close working with the government on various policy matters, for our IDMA companies to become more enduring and globally acclaimed. We wanted to add 1% more meaningfully to all our IDMA members and our partners to make contribution, help them grow better. We had very small and nimble start in 2022 with this Vriddhi event. Just you can see the glimpse. The event focused on building a strong founder's mentality. Anything to begin, the first, we are all entrepreneurs. Our mind should think first. So there is a very famous book written by Bain Company on the founder's mentality. If any one of you have not read, you can please tell us. Our Bain people are here, our friends are here. The event focused on, as I told you, built on strong founder's mentality with a touch on private equity and digitalization. It was very well received by the industry. We were encouraged by the reception. We got almost 140 participants. So now, as earlier stated by Daara bhai, we want to institutionalize this collective wisdom. And how do we do that? Elevate quality. First and foremost, we are in such a noble industry where quality always has to be first. So I always tell in our forums and our team, quality, quality, and quality. First, we all should focus on quality. I think the biggest takeaway message for any one of you, for your respective organization, should be quality first. Nothing else will function if the quality is not rightfully focused. Accelerate your performance across the value chain, from procurement to manufacturing to supply chain to sales to anything. You can accelerate by doing right things in right way, your business, and ultimately you grow your brand and culture. It is extremely important that we create that kind of trust with not just our partners or patients, regulators across the value chain. Because in today's world of digitalization, we all know nothing can be hidden. The days are gone where we feel that something cannot be seen, because we live digital footprint every second what we do. If anybody wants to find us here, you all know even mobile phones are closed, but anyone can find out where you are. So important thing is to understand this. And I always tell the world that digitalization is bringing science and religion together. You do right things right way, because otherwise you'll be caught by the phone. Right. Now, I would request Dr. Viranchi Shah to come here. No, Viranchi bhai. And inaugurate this event.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So this is going to be a great time, not just for learning, but also for networking. You will see who is who of the country here today and tomorrow. I think make best out of it. You will be able to meet them in person and share any of your doubts or anything. I'm 100% sure you will have lots of learning. I think the array of stalwarts and thought leaders are going to be speaking for next 2 days, and I'm 100% sure we all are going to have a great time with them. You can have just a round of applause for these speakers for taking their valuable time out, and they are going to share with us. So last thing before I close, that which I had said on during 60th year of celebration also, that during the session or after the session, do not forget to clap. Why? Because when you clap, you are going to activate all your points, and it is going to improve your blood circulation and also your absorption power. So in Hindi it is said, clap karo khul ke, absorb karo dil se. Thank you all very much.